For the first time in my life, I liked my name. I still didn't think an angel's name suited me one bit, but it was staggering how different it felt now, even if it sounded exactly the same. Those last 2 letters changed the meaning entirely, turning it from a girl's name to a boy's name. Now this makes sense. Everything was falling into place. My admiration for Didier, the envy I had for my brother's bodies, the feelings I had for Amy, the indecent dreams I'd been having. I was always male. I cackled like a fool for the first time in my life. I laughed so hard at the sight of myself my stomach hurt. It was the first glimmer of light I had seen in this locked room for far too long. This was what I was supposed to look like. My life up until 6 months ago, constricted and uncomfortable. My life as a girl was all a lie. No one could possibly look at me and call me an angel. I was always a boy, but I had been told I was a girl, forced to act like one. Of course that wouldn't feel right. They needed to know. I couldn't be the only one who understood. Everyone in this house needed to. Fueled by this one desire, I wrapped a sheet over my shoulders and threw open my door. It seemed ridiculous how long I had followed Mother's instructions and remained cooped up in my room. And now, I felt fantastic. If there truly was a God in heaven, then this change within me was his answer to my prayers. A manservant carrying a tray of food did a double take as I passed him. The farther I proceeded through the corridors, the more eyes I felt on me. The midday sun shone obnoxiously bright through the windows, but now, with its piercing radiation illuminating my proper self, I felt an odd affection for the light. I could hear the family gathering in the great hall. Everyone but me. Didier's voice complained about the simple meals the church provided, but his pride came through in his laughter. Georges' voice playfully bragged about life at the royal court. Father's voice informed everyone his investments had borne fruit, and with the money he had purchased several new estates. Mother's voice was distinctly less bright than the rest of the family's. She gave vague, empty indications she was listening, though mostly stayed out of the conversation. Amy's voice sang her praises for Georges, her beloved husband. Never mind the fact she was sleeping with Didier. It was all a facade, a mere show of a family.
It's a shame Michel couldn't be here. Then we would have everyone.
I was there. I was right there. I hadn't gone anywhere. You had just locked me in my room.
I hope she recovers soon.
I was never sick at all. The child you called Michel was actually your son. That was all there was to it.
What?
Everyone's gazes concentrated on me. I gave them all a quick glance, and then with my deepened voice, I said, I am cured. I was cured 6 months ago. Who are you? Surely you haven't forgotten my face, have you, Father?
Michelle?
Michelle? This boy is Michelle? A wave of chatter spread through the hall. Mother went pale. Father objected. Didier stared. Georges gaped. Amy watched cautiously, fear in her eyes. What a farce. They were the ones who had wrongly decided I was a girl.
What's going on? Someone tell me, what is the meaning of this? You are dressing your son up like a girl, Mother? I assumed he was a girl. Otherwise I wouldn't have put my hands on him like that. You lied to me. I would have never agreed to it if I had known. No, you're wrong. Michelle is my daughter. You call that a girl? All these months I was worried because you said he was sick. But that was all a lie. You couldn't pass him off as a girl anymore, so you locked him up in his room. Is that what this is? And you could have just stayed there. What possessed you to show yourself now? Stop that! Don't look at me! Don't give me that look!
You said you can tell what's going through my mind, didn't you?
What?
Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now.
Don't be so damned full of yourself. I have no
Oh my god. Oh jeez. Okay. Ruined that line already. I'll do that all in once. Then you should know exactly how I feel about you right now. Don't be so damned full of yourself. I have no interest in a whore like you. So why don't you go cry into Didier's arms? You!
What? Huh? What are you talking about? Why Didier? Why not me? What? Hey! Anyone want to explain that for me?
What had once been a nice family meal was now utter chaos. For the briefest moment, I felt sorry for Georges, but that whisked away almost immediately. There was a crash from the table, and dishes fell shattering against the floor. Cursed! A chilling darkness oozed from her voice.
She's cursed! She was my daughter. I saw it with my own eyes. I gave birth to her. She was a girl. Michelle was a girl. A malevolent curse has been placed upon her.
When Mother lifted her head, I had difficulty believing she was the same woman who had I had difficulty believing that she was the same woman who had sat by my bedside as I lay sick, sacrificing sleep to care for me. Her hair was a frazzled mess and deep creases covered her face.
Restrain her! Throw her in her room and lock the door! She's a girl! A girl! She was a girl! I swear it!
Open your eyes! Do I sound like a girl? Do I look anything like a girl? Mother's cries sent me into a frenzy. I ripped the sheet off my shoulders, throwing it to the floor. I am not a girl! And shouted.
Restrain her. Please, someone restrain her.
Fear reigned in the great hall. But then, Several moments of icy silence were broken by a muttering that shocked me as much as anyone else.
You're not a boy. Or a girl. What on earth are you? You're an abomination!
You're not a boy. You're an abomination. I'm... what? I had seen myself in the mirror. I was undoubtedly male. Lacking in strength though they may have been, I had visible muscles. My chest was flat and I was taller than a girl should be. My voice was deep and I had an obvious lump in the middle of my throat. I was male. I had to be male. What else could I be? So why? Why was Amy looking at me like some kind of strange creature? A chill ran down my spine, and I suddenly found myself deeply uncomfortable being so exposed.
There's nothing there. You've got nothing there.
Nothing there. I didn't understand what she was talking about. Unable to press further, I fell silent, at which point several servants burst into the great hall and restrained me.
She's a girl. She's my daughter.
Mother, seemingly in a mad daze, just repeated the same thing over and over.
She was a girl!
As Mother wailed, she wandered off somewhere. Father stood there in silence. Amy stared at me with disgust in her eyes. George was still in a panic, and Didier clenched his fists. Eventually, I started regaining my composure, which is when I realized I had made a mistake. My sickness had been made into a curse. Oh boy. For some reason, Amy and Liddy's voices are giving me a lot of trouble. Maybe a bit further. They should... I won't spoil it. I was once more caged up in my room. In addition to the door being locked from the outside, the windows were boarded over so no one could see in, leaving me in perpetual darkness. Sorry if you can hear the heater going, by the way. 'Tis cold season now. I received no visitors except the servants, and again none of them would look me in the eye. Every day was the same, day in and day out. Day in and day out. The only time the routine changed was when, on occasion, a servant would arrive bearing a letter. It was my mother's handwriting on the parchment. We lived in the same house, yet she refused to show herself before me. I had no choice but to respond to her letters. She demanded I speak like a girl, and I didn't have the strength to defy her. There was a constant sense of urgency to her letters, like she might fall apart completely at any second. And so I did as she said. I signed each letter Michelle, the female name she bestowed upon me at birth, which I so despised. Every time I used that name, I felt like I was denying my own identity. On paper, she expressed her concern for me, but that concern only served to cause me more pain. So every time I took up my quill, my hands trembled. Mother prayed daily that my curse might one day be broken. Am I cursed? Is that why my body changed? Was it not Because I was male? There's nothing there. What did she mean by that? Why did she look at me the way she did? How am I an abomination? Why? I don't understand. Someone, anyone, please tell me. Someone, please. I have brought your supper. I will be back shortly to retrieve your dishes. I'll be going then. Wait. What? Wait a minute. Yes? What do you need, Michelle? Are you a man or a woman? Pardon? Which are you? I am exactly what I appear to be. Which are you? I am a man. If that is all, I will be going now. Clothes off. What? Take your clothes off right now. Everything, even your underclothes. What? Surely you jest, Michelle. I am very serious. I could not possibly. Why not? I could not expose myself. I ordered you to take off your clothes. You mean to humiliate me? I beg you, please reconsider. What are you? You're a servant of the Bollinger estate. And what am I? I am a child of the Bollinger family. I may be locked up, imprisoned in this room, but that doesn't make you any less my servant. Am I wrong? Clothes off. Michelle! I ordered you to take your clothes off. Not even the tiniest sliver of guilt arose in my conscience. I felt no shame in what I was doing. All that mattered to me was figuring out what Amy had meant. I wanted to find the truth. Not knowing, I would have been better off in the dark. His face twisted in humiliation. The servant undressed before me. The dim candlelight. In the dim candlelight, the man's body was shaped almost like a rectangle. And at a glance, he didn't appear much different than me. A second later, though, I found my answer. I found the one crucial thing he had that I didn't. Why? My lower body lacked that part. That made a man a man. Are you satisfied, Michelle? It was then that I finally learned what a man's body was supposed to look like. I am begging you, please allow me to dress. It would be an unbearable shame to remain unclothed any longer before the young Bollinger daughter. Man, I wish I could relate to this servant, and I would have been able to act him better. Daughter. You still insist on calling me a damned girl. Look at these shoulders, my chest, listen to my voice. How can you possibly think any of that belongs to a girl?
But how you appeared does not...
There was a distant look of fear in the manservant's eyes. Not out of respect for our difference in rank, but out of disgust for this incomprehensible thing standing there before him. Those trembling eyes, and the reality dangling there before me, blew the lid once more off everything I had been holding back. Without that, you would be no different than me.
What?
Everything else is all the same. So why does it make such a difference that you have one and I don't?
Michelle?
I am a man. I'm a man just like you. I am no one's daughter! And if you still insist we're not the same, then I'll make you like me. Without that, you're no different than me! It was a mix of dread and panic that pushed me over the edge. And so, in order to keep myself afloat, I decided to bring another pain.
Please don't do this, Michelle!
In a blind frenzy, hardly even aware of what I was doing, just riding the current of my erupting emotions, I swiped a knife off the tray the man had brought, knocked him down, and climbed onto him. I'll get rid of it! I'll make you the same! Without it, you'll be just like me!
Get off me, please! Someone help!
I'll make you just like me!
Get in here, someone! Anyone! Michelle! She's delirious!
Through the fog of hysteria, I suddenly realized I was surrounded by several servants, and the next thing I knew I was on the floor beneath them. There were as many, if not more of them, than when I made the scene in the great hall. A dozen men-servants stared down at me, their eyes filled with fear and revulsion. And in the shadows beyond the crowd, I saw Mother looking in on me with vacant eyes. Mother, why? Why will you only speak to me through letters? Why do you say I'm cursed? Mother, I'm male. I was always male. Tell me that I am, Mother. Let me out of here, please. I'm not delirious. My head is perfectly clear. I'm normal. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not cursed. Mother, say something. Mother! Oh, I need water. I think he sounded like Yukimasa a little bit throughout that. It's hard to distinguish them when they're yelling, I find. After that, I was shut in my room again, and even the servants stopped coming. I pushed and I shoved and I pulled and I pounded with all my strength, but the door and windows didn't budge. A day passed, and then another. With no food or water, I started fearing death was upon me. Surely you could break the windows. You have furniture in there. Sorry, I'm undermining this extremely poignant scene. Hopefully my acting makes up for it. I'd had no idea how miserable it was to go so long without water. My throat was dry and cracked, and it felt like it was on fire, making breathing difficult. Well, I shouldn't have taken a drink, should have done some method. 2 days, 48 long hours. I felt like I was going to lose my mind. After just 2 days, my skin stretched tight across my bones, looking hard and dry in the soft candlelight. Water. I need water. Someone, please, give me water. Why won't anyone bring me any? Why? My family had abandoned me and were leaving me to die in this room. When I realized that, I broke into uncontrollable shaking. The helplessness threatened to suffocate me. Fear of death turned to panic, which only scrambled my already confused mind further. I grabbed a chair, swinging it at the window and the door. Dude, how strong was glass back then? Jesus. But all my attempts ended in crushing failure. Anyone! I clawed at the door, begging for help. Someone! Open the door! Anyone! Water! I need water! 1 drop, that's all I need. I'm going to die in here. Someone! Anyone! Mother! Father! Didier! George! Someone open the door, please! Help me! Someone! I need water! My throat hurts! It burns! I'm so weak! Someone! Water! Didier! George! Ah! Anyone! But not a single soul came to the door. With no food or water, the 3rd day came and went, and then the 4th. By that point, I was exceptionally devoid of any sense of dignity, and I sat there, covered in all manner of human filth, as my body quickly wasted away. Still, I clung to the vain hope that someone would open that door. It was all I had. Occasionally, I would hear footsteps. Whenever I did, I mustered up what meager strength I had left to bang on the door. Whoever's there, please, open the door. I'm begging you, someone. But my pleas fell on deaf ears. Though they didn't respond to me, I could hear the Abigails muttering to one another in the corridor. Did you hear that? Yes, I did. I wonder what's gotten into Lady Michelle. They say she was cursed. Maybe she sold her soul to the devil. How dreadful. We should stay away from that door, if we don't want to be cursed too. I am not cursed. I did not sell my soul to the devil. I'm kind of scared. I might have to find work somewhere else. Gotta make sure we stay away from that door. Why do you think I'm cursed? I never did anything wrong. Lady Michelle has lost her mind. She's deranged. I'm scared even thinking about her. I am not deranged. My mind is perfectly fine.
She's right crazy. She's right mad.
No, I'm not. I'm perfectly normal. That was not good, but it was because I was thinking that just... This adds such a hefty layer to the scene outside the mansion where Giselle returns and starts going off. Because she says some of the same things. She said, I did nothing wrong. No one would believe me. Just masterful, man. Let me try this line again. No, I'm not. I'm perfectly normal. Someone, please get me out of here. The 5th and then the 6th day passed, and by that point I was hovering on death's brink. I lacked even the willpower to hold myself up against the door, so I simply lay on the cold floor, waiting for the end. I felt no sorrow, no anger, no despair, nothing. I had been sucked completely dry. I couldn't even compose a coherent thought, which is why, when the door I had so yearned to open actually did, and someone stepped inside, standing over me, I was unable to process it.
My God, what a mess. Hey, are you still alive? Well, look at that. I was afraid you would be dead.
It was Amy's voice.
I'm sorry, really. I didn't mean you much harm. But after what you said in front of the whole family, I was a little upset.
I couldn't tell what she was saying. All I could hear were garbled sounds. Oh, I was gonna say, I'd probably be able to voice Amy better during this sequence, cause, let's just say what's about to happen is sort of a yum for me, if you will. Definitely not for Michelle. And all I could do was moan at her.
The servants are all afraid of you now, after your little episode. So I volunteered to bring you your food in their place. Everyone was so grateful. I don't think anyone likes you anymore.
Eventually, my muddy mind managed to make sense of the thing she was holding in her hands. A tray of food. I could smell it from here.
At first, I just gave your food to a stray cat. I wish you could have seen it devouring every last bit. What I didn't know, though, was that people can die in just a few days without water. I never intended to kill you. I just didn't know. So I'm really sorry about that.
Water.
But you're alive. For someone so physically weak, you sure are tenacious. Isn't that nice? You have one thing you can be proud of.
What?
Oh, what was that? Water? You want water? Hold on, I've got some right here.
She picked up a goblet with her delicate fingers. My hands swiped weakly at the air, trying to grab it. A grin spread across her lips, and then she let go.
Go on, drink. You'd better hurry, or the rug will absorb it all. You wanted water, didn't you? Then drink.
In that moment, I could hear the sound of the last of my dignity crumbling away. Driven solely by my survival instinct, I bent down toward the rug, pressing my lips against the spreading puddle.
You really did it! Oh, this is too good, Michelle. You look like a cat. No, cats are much more graceful. Oh, I can't stop laughing. The daughter of a prestigious family, the Boulanger, is sucking water out of a carpet. I wish I had a painter here to capture this image on canvas. So you know, I accept that I made a mistake, Michelle. I promise I'll bring you your food from now on. I'll take very good care of you. This is going to be fun.
Listening to her childish yet deeply malicious laughter, I understood. I was her plaything now. My hell was only just beginning. Having gotten food and water, my body recovered somewhat, but I was hardly in peak condition. That would take some time, given how badly malnourished I had been. Amy continued to treat me like her pet, constantly stoking the flame of rage within me. But I was too weak to stay on my feet for long, and talking hurt my throat. I assume it was a calculated effort on her part to maintain power over me, to keep me as miserable as possible. She always had a smirk on her face as she gazed down on me.
Come on, open up. Today I'm going to feed you myself. What's the matter? I can't put anything in with your mouth closed. Or do you want to starve to death?
Amy, why are you doing this?
Why? Because it's fun, why else?
You married into this family, you sick wench! What gives you the idea you can treat me?
Are you saying that because I'm married in, I'm of lesser stature than you? That's true, I am. But what's your point? You think you can intimidate me with formalities?
Amy!
Ew, I would rather you not speak my name, if you wouldn't mind.
That doesn't excuse your treatment of me. Someone, Didier or Georges, will make you pay for this.
You don't have a single friend here, Michelle. No one to take your side. And no one to say a thing about me playing with you. Assuming you were somehow able to tell someone, no one would believe you.
That's a lie!
Do you have any idea what people say about you? They say you've gone mad, that you've sold your soul to the devil. Do you honestly believe anyone would trust you?
I am not mad.
I don't know. You look plenty mad to me.
Fine. Then I'll run away. I'll escape from this estate. And from you.
You think you could survive out in the world with that body? This stray cat could lift more than you. You'd never find work. I give you a week at best.
You can't be so sure of that. Maybe I could make it on my own.
Maybe, but either way, there's no way you're getting out. You try to run, someone might just cut your legs off.
How is that at all necessary?
Don't ask me. Maybe because your curse hasn't been broken? You know, you're lucky you're even allowed to live. And you should be grateful to me for volunteering to take care of you. Nobody else wanted to have anything to do with it. So if you want to keep living, you have to show me some respect, and you have to do everything I tell you to. Understood?
So this is the real you. You were just pretending to be respectable, when in reality, not only are you sleeping with Didier, you're a downright vile woman. You've been putting on an act ever since you got here.
Oh, you make it sound like I'm somehow worse than anyone else. I'm quite normal, thank you.
How is this normal?
Listen to me, Michelle. The side of me you see right now isn't necessarily the whole thing. The sweet girl I am for the family is also me. And when I held you in my arms, that too was me. I'm not putting on an act.
Liar!
Although, to tell you the truth, I never actually liked you, so that part was a lie, yes. If Mother hadn't asked, I would have never even considered getting friendly with you.
Amy!
You know, life as a noblewoman is so dull. It's so restrictive. No room for love at all. So can you really blame me? There so happened to be the most wonderful night right there for the taking. Why shouldn't I have gone after him? I'm still young. Let me have some fun, you know.
Oh, this is so... That part especially is fucked up because Michelle as well hated the life of a noblewoman, found it restrictive, found it not unfulfilling. And so does Amy, but the way she deals with that is completely different to Michelle. Oh, God. Just when you think this story can be any more poetically fucking tragic. Ah, I need more water.
Not like women have much else in the way of recreation.
So it wasn't Didier, but you who seduced him?
And it would have all worked out beautifully, too, if you had only kept your mouth shut. You ruined our family gathering and damaged my reputation. And you called me a whore. That wasn't very nice now, was it? Is it any surprise I'm a little sore? You brought this on yourself. You brought this on yourself, Michelle.
The mask got a crack there for her for a second. I brought this on myself? Don't you dare. Nothing justifies what you're doing to me. I'm not the disturbed one. You're a crazy whore, and don't you try to pretend otherwise, damn you.
Oh my, such language. You're not being very nice to me, Michelle. Girls aren't supposed to talk like that, you know.
I am not a girl.
Then what are you?
I'm a man.
A man? With that body.
Amy quietly rose, grabbed me by the hair, and shoved me to the floor. Let go of me!
You call yourself a man. You can't even get out of a girl's grip. I'm not all that strong either. In fact, I'd say I'm rather weak. Just a small, powerless girl. If you were a man, you would have no problem breaking free, malnourished or otherwise. But you can't.
She traced the lines of my emaciated ribs with her nails, traveling slowly, down my chest.
But even ignoring that, you're missing the most important part.
Stop! Get off me! I tried to shove her aside with all the strength I could squeeze out of my arms. But as Amy had said, I couldn't even overpower a girl. All I could do was lie there beneath her and beg. Get off me! Groaning in anger and frustration. Her finger came to a stop just above my navel. She looked at me with a sweet smile, and then pulled her hand away. And just as a wave of relief spread through me, she shoved me back, jumped up, and slammed her foot between my legs. I shuddered as the pain jolted up my spine. Amy looked down on me as I screamed. A smirk spread across her face.
Oh my, does that hurt? That's a surprise. Even without boy parts, it still hurts. Even without boy parts, it still hurts.
Stop, please! And she didn't stop stepping on me. I'm begging you, stop, please! She dug her toes into my flesh.
What are you exactly, Michelle? From the feel of it, you don't quite have proper girl parts either.
Amy, please! On top of the physical pain, unbearable humiliation and shame corroded away at my spirit.
What a strange creature you are.
Stop! If I could have died right then and there, honestly, that would have been preferable to the emotional hell she was putting me through. Man, I wish I could relate to Michelle here, then maybe I could make the acting better. Call back. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. This is really rough.
You should take a look at yourself in a mirror, Michelle. You're crying, sobbing like a sad little girl. Not much of a boy, are you? And you lusted after me with this body. Seriously, you're disgusting. I can't believe you actually had the gall to fall for me.
Amy's abuse was not a one-time occurrence. As she had promised, she came to feed me every day. But her arrival brought nothing but anguish and torture. Every day, she chipped away more of my spirit. But I hadn't succumbed to her yet. My anger still overpowered any fear I felt. About a week after Amy started caring for me,
Have you been a good girl, Michelle? I brought you your supper. I'll set it right here for you. What's the matter, Michelle? Your food's right there. It's going to get cold. Go on, eat. But no using your hands. Crawl over and use your mouth. Come on, eat. Or would you rather I feed you? What was that? Do you have something to say? I can't understand a word you're saying, Michelle. If you would eat, you would have enough strength to talk.
You!
Huh?
I'm going to kill you. Let me try that all in one go. I'm going to kill you, Amy! That was, I believe, the first time in my life I had felt a sincere, overpowering desire to end someone's life. I wanted to see her dead. With my hands and legs tied up, I lurched for her. And like the dog she so wanted me to be, I chomped down on her wrist. The taste of someone else's blood was far more unpleasant than I had expected. I felt like I was going to vomit. But I was determined not to let go of her wrist for any reason. I would gnaw through the bone and rip her entire hand off. She could beat me unconscious and I still wouldn't let go. She would have to kill me to get me off of her. I wanted her to feel the same pain I felt when she trampled on me.
Let go!
My body never did what I wanted it to, though. I could swear on my life I wouldn't release her arm, but I could never seem to make good on my determination. Amy's foot flew up into my emaciated gut. The pointed tip of her shoe dug into my flesh like a knife, and I collapsed to the floor in a fit of convulsions. And just as I was about to cough up a mouthful of stomach acid, she rammed her foot into my abdomen a second time. She didn't even give me enough time to get to my feet, let alone fight back, before she kicked me again. Again, and again, and again, and again. My gut, my chest, my legs, and my face.
What's wrong with you? Don't you get it? You're not the one in control here. You should be thanking me. What you did to me that day was incredibly hurtful. Yet here I am, bringing you your food. Can you not see just how kind-hearted I am? So why would you go and bite me? What would possess you to do such a thing?
Gasping for breath, my consciousness slipped away from me. I caught a glimpse of Amy's eyes as she swung her leg back for another kick. And when I did, a single word rose to my mind. Demon.
isn't that something? You can't even stand up to a girl. I'm not that strong. I'm weak and frail. This is the first time I've ever kicked someone. I have absolute control over you, Michelle. You understand that now, right? You learned your lesson, didn't you?
Not an ounce of strength remained within me. My tongue and cheeks were torn up and my mouth tasted of blood. Thinking herself weak and having no experience in the ways of physical violence, she knew no restraint. The ignorant can be so much more brutal and viciously relentless than the seasoned. That's a great line. My vision had gone red, and I could hardly feel my own face. There was a strange gurgling sound with every breath I took.
Ah, jeez. What am I going to do about this hand? It hurts like crazy. Oh, I know. I'll tell everyone you finally lost it and tried to bite my hand off. It'll all feel so bad for me. I can just see the sad looks on Didier and Georges' faces.
They will not.
You know, your brothers have completely given up on you. A deranged sister is nothing but trouble. You know what you are, Michelle? You're a demon child.
Why was I the demon and not her? Why did no one come to my aid? Oh. And again, another parallel to Giselle's story. Except I don't think she said this out loud to him, but I'm sure he could have felt that in her. Several times I considered ending my life. But
oh my god! Oh. Exactly the same. Genius, man. I forgot all about that. Wow. Oh, I just got full body chills again. Fuck me.
Several times I considered ending my life, but every time I did, memories of better days came back to me, of the time before my body had transformed, the days when we were all so sure of our happiness, kept me chained to life. Why couldn't things still be the way they had been then? In my heart, I hadn't changed at all. So how had things ended up like this?